This is the Be Helpful podcast, where conversations with budding entrepreneurs prepare you for the wild journey of building a business or side hustle. What books would you recommend to other entrepreneurs?
To other entrepreneurs. I mean, my first one, so the book I absolutely love. Don't hate me because I'm bringing it back to Keller Williams. It was written by Jay Papasan, who's a brilliant guy. But it's called The One Thing.
I love that book.
It's a really good book. It really helps kind of focus in on hey, I think, what I love about the mindset of Keller Williams is, most people overestimate what they could do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they could do in 5 years. And it's like, how can I take my 5-year plan and make it happen in 6 months? Right? You could take a lot of those things like, hey, if I really want to grow this business, this consultant business, or if I really want to grow this podcast, like, hey, I would like to get it to here one day. Well, what if I could tell you your 5-year plan can happen in 6 months? You're just not doing the right activities to get it to there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so that's the one thing. I actually have it on my phone. What's the one thing by doing this will make everything else, not important, irrelevant, And so that is something, and the podcast is really good. There was another one I just read. What was it? And I asked my friend for it, and I can't remember it, but I would say that one. I read a lot of books on habits only because I have historically been terrible at habits. Mm-hmm. Being a college athlete, I formed really good habits in college, right? I was very dedicated because I wanted to actually play. I wanted to get on the field, and everybody was better than me. So I had to work really hard to build good habits so that I was more fit than everybody else, that I was, growing technically as a player. And I think business is like that as well, right? Mm-hmm. Life is like that. Marriage is like that. Parenthood is like that, right? If you, tell yourself that you're not getting enough me time, well, then maybe you should wake up an hour before your entire family wakes up and take care of you, right? If that's the only time, because as an entrepreneur, once our day starts, it's really hard to go and find you time. I've tried it for years, right?
Yeah.
I've tried to go to the gym on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock. Well, guess what? My whole day is like jammed up, or I miss it because all of a sudden I got to deal with something.
Right.
So, I don't want to, Atomic Habits is a book that I've kind of been really kind of loving, but, as a leader, Start With Why obviously is a good book. You know what I mean? And it's really helped me in leading my team at times, because when I want to just automatically correct a behavior, or if I automatically just want to be like, well, no, just do this, I'll ask the questions. All right, why, I start with the why, which is beautiful, because I get way more.
Yes.
Then I understand my team, I understand my employees better. And then I could correct, or then I could coach, or then I could encourage in a much better way. So I think Start With Why has kind of been a really good eye opener to me, because you've been around. There are just some people who are naturally really good leaders, and you're just like in awe every time they get up and do their thing. I'm like, man, like that's not me. Or I would love to be like that. Well, guess how they got that way? They read books, they worked on it, they got mentorship on it, and they were intentional about it.
Yeah.
It's all about being intentional in your life and creating good habits and building momentum, right? Yeah. So it's like, I love don't chase 2 rabbits, because you won't catch you won't catch any, right? Focus on one thing at a time, right? And so it's like, once you build, so one habit I've built is waking up an hour before. I read this book called The Miracle Morning.
Okay.
Really has helped change kind of my life in many ways. I'm a better husband for it. I'm a better father. I'm a better leader in my company. Because of this book, because I take the time, I wake up an hour and 15 minutes before my family, and I take care of me, and I focus on a bunch of things like affirmations, visualizations, meditating, exercise, reading, and a little journaling, right?
Yeah.
The book has an acronym called SAVERS, and I built the habit of doing that curriculum in the morning, and that has helped build momentum in my life, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd actually that book, the one thing, and I'd say The Miracle Morning were probably the two most significant books that have really helped me kind of have laser focus and build momentum in my life. And the last 2 years of my career are the first 2 years I've ever hit my goals. So I've always had like lofty
Oh,
goals,
yeah. That's
right?
interesting.
And I read the book. I started implementing it. Or 2 years ago, I hit the goal for the first time. Last year, I hit it again. And
Yeah.
so like I got off of it for like 4 or 5 months recently, and I just started back up because I'm like, man, this year I have even bigger goals, right? And I'm like, if I am going to do that, well, I'm going to beat myself up if I don't exercise and I'm not healthy and I'm not strong and I'm not like mentally doing the things that I know I could be doing. And then we're the kings of self-doubt, right?
Yes.
And talking to ourselves and like, oh, you're an idiot, or oh man, that's the thing I love about the book. Quite often people will tell themselves, hey, you know what? They set goals, right? I'm going to work out 5 days a week, right? And then they tell themselves, I'm going to work out 5 days a week. Well, guess what? When it's Thursday and you only worked out on Monday, right? And you're like, then you beat yourself up. Instead of telling yourself that, the one thing I love about the Miracle Morning is in your affirmations, it says, I'm committed to working out 5 times a week. Because even if you wake up on Wednesday and you only worked out on Monday, but you didn't hit Tuesday, it's not like your body and your mind already knows that you're lying to yourself. You're not going to actually work out because it's impossible because you just missed a day. But if you say, hey, I'm committed to it, then it just changes the rhetoric and the kind of the momentum that you're trying to build, which is building a habit.
Yeah.
You don't, I don't know about you, but brushing my teeth is easy. I don't think about it. I just brush my teeth and floss over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So how can I do that in other areas of my life where I'm doing I'm focusing on the plan, not the problems around me.
Yeah.
So,
No, I absolutely love that. Those books, Miracle Morning, I'm going to add to my list, and also the library that's on our website, because it definitely sounds like a book that I need. The One Thing is one of those books that I'm trying to listen to annually.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate kind of the principles.
Yeah.
But I love I love even the small tidbit of you've had this long career and you've only hit your goals twice, and not hitting your goals didn't discourage you. You just kept trying, you kept pushing through it.
Yeah.
So that is very fascinating to hear that you've dealt with the disappointment of not reaching your goals, but it didn't stop you from setting new goals and keep pushing forward. And now you're hitting those milestones and you have the resilience of, oh, I fell off my habits the last 3-4 months. Let me pick it back up. I'm still going to get there. So that's really empowering and encouraging to hear, because I think a lot of times, like you said, the self-doubt kicks in when you don't hit your goal. You're just like, oh, I'm not good at it. And you become very self-deprecating. So that's a really good insight.
Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing. One of my team members and I had a goal for February to do 100 push-ups a day. Right. And it's like, man, I'm out of shape. I'm not there. Like I started with knee push-ups for the first 3 weeks, but now it's like, I'm building back a good core of strength. And it's just like anything else. Human nature is this way. We know affirmation is such a powerful tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you show me anybody who has self-confidence, and there is somebody who keeps promises to themselves.
Yeah.
So anytime I meet somebody and there's a lot of confidence in them, I think to myself, oh, they keep promises to themselves, because I think that's where a lot of affirmation. I have a lot of affirmation because I know who I am. I know I'm a man of integrity, right? I know if I'm going to tell somebody I'm going to do something, yeah, sure. Do I fail at times? Absolutely. But I'll make it right.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll make it right. I'll work hard. I'll try to make sure that I don't make that mistake again, but, and that's what, I try to instill in my kids,
Yeah.
So, and that's the best we could do. Right.
It truly is.
It really is. It's just trying to take it day by day and don't focus on the problem, but focus on the plan. And if you don't have a plan as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you got to start with a plan.
Yeah.
Right.
You're planning to fail if you don't.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of realtors in particular don't. And I'll be honest, for many years, for a decade of my career, I barely had a plan. I put a number out. Hey, I want to sell this many homes. My average price point is this. I sell this. I kind of knew what my goals were on a commission base, like what kind of salary I wanted to have. But that was about it. It was very, very half-assed. That's not the way now I run my business, but, and I try to encourage. I have a new agent actually an older agent who's just joined my team, and I'm sitting down with him working on how do we break those bad habits in a way that's doable for you, right?
Yeah.
Because we're doing it at a higher level. You've not been doing it at all. So how do we find the mix? Just taking it day by day, keeping it really simple. And I think for entrepreneurs or small business owners, just literally taking it day by day, little steps, right?
Yeah.
Time block, for 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes every other day to work on your business, not in your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like it.
So.
All right. My last question.
Yeah. Hit me.
What question should I ask the next guest?
What question should you ask the next guest? I want to hear what the last person said. But what is your why? What's your why?
Yeah.
What motivates you?
What would be, and you shared a little bit about this at the beginning, so I think I know the answer, but let me just simply ask you, what's your why?
Oh, I see how you set this up. I like this. It's smooth. Okay. I'm going to have to use this tool, this trick. I told you early on, offline here, my whole family is deceased, right? My dad died when I was 6. My brother died when I was 14, kind of a crazy accident. And my mother died when I was 30. And so I think my motivation is generally, how do I make them proud of me? How do all the things that they try to instill in me, whether it's integrity, whether it's commitment, whether it's follow through, whether it's, being gracious with people, non-judgmental, whatever the principles that my parents, how do I lead with love, right? How do I live those out, right? Yeah. And so that's my motivation. And how do I run a business? I'm passionate about real estate. I love building properties. I love rehabbing properties. I love investing in properties. Like, how do I take that love for my family, love for my friends, love for the stranger, that is rude to me in the car next to me, right? Like, how do I live that out, right? And so my why is I'm never going to be perfect at any of this stuff, but how do I evolve, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, how do I glorify my family and my God,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love it, man.
Yeah, man.
I love it. Brian, this has been incredible.
Yeah, buddy.
Lastly, let people know how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, so my office is in Lincoln Park. Brian Moon. I have the Moon Group. You can email me at brianmoon@kw.com. You can find us at the Moon Group on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're all over the World Wide Web, buddy.
I love it. Brian, thanks again. This is awesome.
All right, buddy. You take care of yourself.
If you found this video to be helpful, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment. If you're an entrepreneur and want to share your journey and be helpful to others, please hit us up on our social media channels, or you can shoot us an email at behelpfulpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks. Be helpful.